everyone, welcome back. We are moving along as I am showing you step by step how I am creating this year's 2019 my travel junk journal, my vacation junk journal. Each year I make one if we are fortunate enough to be going to some amazing place or whatever it is that we might be doing that summer. This year we have been very blessed and we will be able to go to Hawaii. So this is the book that I am creating, and I have gone as far as putting all my signatures together. And what I mean by that is the pages, what's going inside. I've done only very minimal stitching inside of them, but I just can't wait to put them inside the book so that I can then start decorating and adding all the additional embellishments. So I've decided to go ahead and add them to the book now, and I've been dying to get to this part. So so far, let's see, wait, I gotta show you this. I have found a material that through watching videos from other amazing artists out there that are either bookmakers or junk journal makers. I've learned that one of the best materials out there to reinforce and to basically create a hidden spine, because I am not going to be stitching my signatures through this spine over here, so it's going to be hidden. So this material is called Craft Tech, and I had to order it through Amazon because I could not find it at Hobby Lobby or at Joann's or at Michael's, so I had to order it online. So I will be stitching my signatures in this little contraption here, which I've already measured. It fits in the spine right here, and I've allowed some space because I'm going to be gluing the excess over like this, and then this will get covered with some other very pretty paper. And so I need to basically stitch my signatures inside here first, and then the whole thing is going to get glued in here. So let's see how I'm going to do that. I'm going to bring out my little handy dandy catalog here that I'm going to be using to punch holes and to do my stitching. So I have everything ready. I did all the measurements off camera to save you that whole mess. I've created a little template for each of my signatures, so I know exactly where I'm going to be puncturing, punching the holes. And all I did was I measured, not that ruler, where'd my other ruler go? Well, sometimes I cheat. Anyways, I found the halfway point of 8.5, which is 4 1/4, and then I went up 2 inches and down 2 inches. I've also added a clip holding all my pages and make sure they are in the order that I want them and make sure everything lines up the way I want. Basically, all of these measurements are going to depend on what you're working on. It will be all basically your preferences of how far you want to make your stitches go. So for me, each of the holes are 2 inches apart. And then I use this old catalog so that I don't destroy my working area. And I can just puncture all 3 holes. Make sure everything goes through, and then you keep everything together, and you're going to repeat the same for each of your other signatures. But because I created that little template, all I have to do is make sure my pages are lined up the way I want. This one's one of the easiest ones to lined up because everything is pretty much cut in the same size. And I left my template inside the other one. Why does this one seem a little shorter? Maybe I am wrong. This isn't the same size. I think one of my pages on the other book ended up being longer, the blue one, and that is why. And the reason why is because of the pattern. I didn't want to cut too much of it. I wanted it to keep it exactly along the lines, and that's why that sheet ended up being a lot taller. I remember now. See, all of these, sometimes it's just easier to measure everything the exact same way, but again, for me, this is just what I've decided to do. You don't have to complicate your life as much as I have. So my template, all I'm gonna have to do is make sure that whatever distance I have on the top is at the bottom. So all I need to do is move this tab to where it's 1/4 of an inch sticking up on either side on the top. And that should make everything line up. And I feel like I need another paper clip because things are still moving. I am good to go. Make sure everything is lined up and punch your holes. Slight differences because of our choices. I wanted that sheet of paper to be cut a certain way and that threw me off. So there's the other one. But no big deal, nothing that we can't fix. Here is the last one. Let's see, this one here. This one is also 8. I could just cut again that 1/4 of an inch from either side on my template, and then I should be okay. I'm gonna hold everything tight. And go for it. I am easy as Sunday morning. Sometimes little things like this don't bother me. So there is my other one. I'm trying to keep everything nice and tight. And now I have to do the same for the spine. For this one, I'm not gonna use the spine of the book. I'm just gonna use the pages like this because there's so many I need to punch. Make sure everything is lining up. And the way I figured this, I found the center of my spine, and then I went 1/2 an inch on either direction. I'm pushing really hard and I feel like I don't need to. It's 4 and then 2 and 6. Okay. Let's do a little cleaning. Move everything closer. And I have decided to use baker's twine to stitch my book. I feel like it might be a little, oh, this is about, I normally use a crochet thread. It's pretty sturdy. So I've decided to use, like I said, the baker's twine, and this one is so pretty. Why use plain white when you have pretty color ones like this, right? So I've decided to use this one. It kind of goes with all the colors. The next step now is to arrange my signatures the way I want them to go. This is where you have to be careful, make sure everything is right side up. Nothing is upside down. And this one, I thought it had a pattern. Yep, see, here it is. So I'm going to have to. This is why you double check, because look what I almost did. So this paper's right side up. Oh no, I have it right. Never mind, I thought my pocket was upside down, but it's not. Yay, okay. So this one goes in the middle, and this guy is gonna go on the top because I want the wide cover for this, for the front, because this is the first page you will see. And the last page should be done as well, the same size as the top. So I'm going to start with the first one. I've put my baker's twine, and these little pieces of thread are bugging me like you couldn't believe. You know what? I'm gonna start with the middle one actually. I feel like it's going to be better because it's going to be a form of guidance, so I know which way I'm going. So I'm going to start by picking the top hole, running my needle, and see all these little extra pieces of thread. I feel like, oh, I need them to be gone. So I'm gonna leave the tail a little long, and then I'm gonna go down the center one here because like I said, I'm going with the center. See all my messy trial and error there? That's okay, because you won't be able to see that. Then I'm gonna go down the middle and find a middle hole here. And now through the center again. Oh, it seems difficult, guys, but it's not, I promise you. So there is my stitching. Pull tight, but not too tight, because you don't want your pages to rip. You want them to have a little bit of a wiggle. And the way I like to do my knot is I bring it back to the center, hold it, and then just with one hand do an extra knot. Everybody has their own ways. I'm just showing you mine. You will develop your own. And then I pull, and then I'm going to cut, leave a little tail, because I think I'm gonna do a little something special here in the center. So there, oh, it looks so complicated. My first signature, all done. I think the problem that I had was I was trying to insert the needle through this little thing right here, which I thought was the center, but it's not. And that's why I have that extra hole, because I put it in thinking that that was it. But that's okay. I am not looking for perfection, because that's what a junk journal is. So now I'm gonna go with the first one. I'm gonna start and down the middle, leave my tail, find the middle hole. This will go a lot faster, hopefully a lot easier. gonna pull my needle out on that one because I don't need it anymore. I need to add more thread. I'm going to bring my knot down to the center. Make a double knot. There's my other signature. Okay. There's two. And the last one on the very back. Let's see how tricky it's gonna get with this doily. There. I'm gonna take the needle out because I don't need it. Pull everything, make sure everything is nice and tight up against that spine. Bring my knot down to the center here. This is why, you know, filming, it's hard because, you know, you want to make everything look easy so I don't scare you, but sometimes it's always best to show the reality of it, because if you run into a problem, then you might, you know, seen it on somebody else's video and you know how to solve it. There, oh my goodness, my signatures are now in the spine. I think having this little gap in between each one is going to allow for each of the books to expand a little bit, this, you know, area here. So you can see that there is a little bit of that ½ inch gap in between each one. And I am okay with that. So now let me start getting rid of some of this extra stuff that's driving me nuts, like this doily. I don't want to cut my tails of my ribbon, so I'm going to move those out of the way. There. I am also going to get rid of these things that are driving me nuts. Okay, so I'm done. I've stitched my signatures in. I gotta make sure everything is right side up. I'm going to attach the whole thing to the back, or the spine, not the back, but the spine of my book here. And I'm going to use a lot of glue. And for what I understand, I mean, you know, this glue works. A lot of people use fabric tack as well. This is actually my first time. Is it? Yeah, it's really my first time gluing a spine like this with a hidden stitching in a book. If I've ever done a junk journal, I just stitch it right, you know, by themselves, because normally I've only done one signature and that makes up the entire book. And but I know this will work. This will keep my signatures nice and neat inside the spine. So let me clean my fingers. Always have wipes handy, especially with my hand. That's okay, that glue is not, I mean, it's drying, but it's not gonna be a big deal. So it's actually better that it's a semi-slow drying, because you need time to kind of set everything inside the book. And having that space in between each of the signatures will actually be a good thing, because I can stick my fingers in there. Actually, I'm gonna use a ruler. Kind of push in there to make sure that everything is really up against the back of the spine. And it's gonna take a while for it to dry. I gotta let it completely dry before I glue the sides of the craft text to the pages of, or the cover of the book. So I'm actually gonna use two rulers here to kind of press and make sure everything is sticking really well. Just wait a little bit, you know, keep pressing until the glue kind of sets a little bit. That is as far as I'm gonna go today, because I gotta let this thing dry up so that I can show you how I'm going to cover the ugliness of this sides right here. We'll be moving on to another lesson or section, whatever you want to call it, where we will be embellishing and adding lots and lots of goodies to finish up the book. I have about 3 more weeks before we actually leave on this trip. I am still debating if I am going to take the book with me or not, but we will see. So I will be back when this is all dried. Okay, guys, I am back. I let the inserts completely dry. Bye, Chase. My dog's leaving. He hears me talking and he leaves the room. So it is completely dry and it looks super, super strong. I'm very happy with the results. There they are. Doesn't look chunky anymore like I thought it did at first. I've already trimmed the paper that is going to go inside here to cover this ugliness going on over here. And I went with this beautiful stripe paper from Webster's Pages. And everything is going to look nice and neat. I think I might do something over here and cover this because my fingers get all smudgy and dirty, and now the white spine doesn't look as clean. Now, I could also go this way, but I don't know that I like that. I think I would rather go on top like this and then just add maybe some lace or some pretty ribbon over here. So I will be doing that to the front and the back. And I am using just tacky glue and my handy dandy brayer. I almost called it a frayer. So there I'm just looking at everything from this side to make sure everything, and how I put this guy last overnight to dry is I put all these rulers inside to kind of I don't know, keep things in place while it was drying. So like this one here, I need that section there to kind of, you know, get really good in the corner there. So if I just put that ruler there, that kind of helped kind of keep things in place, or push it. You know, I don't want to force the spine too much, but in these tight corners, I think a ruler, that's a pretty good. Well, this one has 2 metal edges. This one only has 1. Okay, guys, that's it. I mean, you get the gist of what I just did, right? So it was just gluing my spine to the, see, but it wants to keep opening because it's not dry, so I don't want to open it. I will let it dry, and obviously I will show it to you once I get to the next part of this series of videos where I'm showing you how to make this beautiful journal from beginning to end. So I'm not gonna keep messing with it, guys. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next whatever, what do we call it, the next lesson, the next video, where we will be making all our embellishments. Thanks a lot. See you next time. Bye.